So this is about alts now, and I think at this phase the analysis of alt is not so important because this week, today especially, we saw a dip from BTC, Bitcoin. So focusing on Bitcoin is more important than focusing on alts because, as we know, that alts are following Bitcoin very closely as far as correction is concerned. So as soon as BTC stops falling and they all start moving up, we saw significant move from some of the coins in last few days. So what we'll do is we're going to go through all the charts. This is weekly scale, no drawing, but I want to, and I think rather than levels, um, we'll stick to our last week's approach where we will say where they stand with respect to the low. So that will tell that whether it's near the low, mid level, near the high, or mid higher high. Because at this stage, the targets are not important, the resistance are not important. What is important is where they stand in their recovery, right? So they're bouncing. So what we want to see is different coins are bouncing at different rate and a pace. So they are at different levels with respect to the low, right? What we want to go through is where they stand, and all the coins can be categorized. Let's say 1 inch, we are looking at it, it's at a mid level. So you can categorize all the active coins into four different categories: near the low, mid level, near high, or higher high. Very simple, right? And as I mentioned earlier as well, that each week there are going to be different coins moving at different pace, and they're going to change. So this is not a race. Right now, if you look at some coin at the bottom, let's say, or a mid level, they can be at a top after a week or so if this rise or bounce continues and so on, right? So uh, never judge coin by their daily percentage, but on a weekly basis like this, you just assess that, okay, if you want to reshuffle, maybe a weekly review makes sense, and then reshuffle if you want to, if you think that your coin is not making progress and so on. Otherwise, every other day, if you think that, hey, this coin is pumping, let me get in, and then it's going to be unsettling, it's going to be ever changing. And that's not how trader, even these are like day traders, and the day traders life is miserable in crypto, right? So I would say weekly review is good enough for you to decide whether you need a change or not. And the change can be gradual if you have to do, but not every other day. So that's a very important guideline, because this is the tough time that anyone who is new to crypto, it's very hard to be patient, because that those traders come with a huge dreams that a crypto will make them millionaire, whatever, not millionaire, but wealthy enough, uh, and crypto will give them freedom or retirement or so whatnot. Nothing wrong in it. Only thing is, if they join when crypto was at top, they would be super frustrated at this moment, and they would be thinking, oh, where am I? There's no fortune in this one, and they start hating, and many emotional, I mean, it's very hard emotionally for them to manage at this moment. There's desperateness, there's like they cannot just now wait for this consolidation to continue. So even though those who are able to keep patience, they would not like to see anything further down and so on. But as I explained, we don't have a choice but to watch BTC and um, plan our alts accordingly, because I'm sure nobody is holding BTC. I'm assuming very few member would be holding BTC. So everybody would be holding alts, I'm sure about it. 99% of the because nobody likes BTC. They, as far as trading is concerned. Anyway, so that's why we have to go through alts, but look from where they stand, and I would say do weekly review. So with that note, let's go through all the alts. 1 inch, if you look at making progress, this, and if you compare, I'm not going to talk about the same thing for each and every coin, but for few coin, when there is something different, I'm going to highlight it. If you look at, this is much stronger response than BTC. The BTC candle, we saw how indecisive on a weekly scale, right? When you look at 1 inch, so what you will see that the alts are making better progress than BTC in when it comes to recovery. Of course, when there is a crash, they are also going to crash hard. Okay, so it's both ways. So when they go up faster, and they same thing. So that's how they move. So another tip is, when situation is tricky, you have to think that what kind of coin you must have it, and you must change your coin based on the situation, right? So if things are getting better and moving up, then the focus could be more on alts. Otherwise, focus could be on a coin which is slower in pace, and so on. And then it's like changing gear. So as BTC improves in terms of its price level, then you can say, okay, now I can go for alts which are fast moving alts, and so on, because then you will get that benefit of that fire pace. But the same pace would be counter effective, if it goes down, because then you will lose more, right? So it's very important that you change your gear based on situation. You don't try to drive your car on top gear right off the garage. Okay, that's important. um, so 1 inch is midway, Aave is near midway, and you will be amazed that they would look alike, and sometimes you think it's just different coin names, they're so alike. Midway, near midway. um the last week was not so good, but this week is good for algo. So this is another perspective you can have. Say, ADA, for an example, had a better previous week, but this has a okay kind of a week so far, where this algo had a okay kind of a week, not bad, but this is a better week, and so on. So you will see this is the point, my previous point, that different coin will do something different weeks, right? This is an example. Atom this week is much better than last week and approaching the mid level, still at a lower level. AVAX, as you could see, it's a bottom level. Band, as you could see, is more volatile, right? More volatile, making progress, but more volatile. So here, if you look at it, this is lesser volatile in this week. This is lesser volatile. 1 inch is lesser volatile, right? If you look at it, but if you look at band, it has a more volatility. So I'm trying to highlight certain aspects which you typically don't see, because in my observation, I don't want to generalize it, but my observation, most of the member focus on percentage, but not on their volatility, the speed, the stages, and also my focus is that always. And this is how traders, in my opinion, traders should look from this point of view, not just from percentage point of view. BCH is not so good in this week. BNB is making progress, so it is more consistent. BTC, we saw this week is weaker than last week, but it's sideway move. BZRX is more like BTC. Cake is making good progress, but the it was more deeper, like the correction was more deep, like in terms of percentage we can measure. This is another aspect you can consider, that how much, how vulnerable these coins are. So look at the measurement. I mean, have a measurement, 78% drop, right? So you measure your coin, say, in this, it's a learning thing, it's an exercise that everyone should do. This is how you learn that different coins, and so easy. I just did in a second. You don't need to know anything special. Just measure the percentage drop and see, okay, and note it down. All these points you should note it down and say, okay, this, when the correction happened, this coin dropped by so and so percentage. So you know what, next time if I'm holding, this could be more vulnerable than other, and so on. So you have mental, image and of different coins characteristic, that how bad they could become, because when they go down and so on. And from volatility point of view also, you have to measure that how much they are fluctuating and so on. So this kind of a thing, as a trader, you must note down, and make your own diary and best practices, in my opinion. This is how one can elevate their game. CELR, as you could see, nice. Previous week was amazing, almost like in above mid level, and then this week's is average. So this is playing some, I mean, doing something different. Comp is weak at this week, right? Dash is more like BTC, little better than BTC if you look at last week, but still at a lower end of the lower end. Doge is strong. It's at the mid level. Last week was okay, but even the drop was not so bad, and now it's pretty good. This week is much better, as you could see. And Dot is also making good progress. This week is better than last week, but it's making steady progress. EGLD is not okay, kind of, nothing great about it. EOS had a good week last week. This week it was okay, sort of, but not bad. It's not at the bottom. ETH is making steady progress. It's better than Bitcoin, as you could see. This week is much better and holding up pretty well. Even the drop, you see the drop, and compared to the bounce, it's so you. I hope you're noting all these points and learning. FIL, the second week is much better. Last week was ordinary. This is much better and much stronger, right? So if you judge file last week and judge now, you will change. But the point is, if you keep on judging, you will keep judging forever. Don't judge like that, right? Yeah, you have to have assessment for sure, but don't tag any coin unless you see a trend. This is not a trend, this is a weekly review. Fourth is last week was good, this is not so good. FTM is okay, sort of. GRT was good in beginning of this week, but all of a sudden drop in last 2 days. So you can note that point, that it made a good progress, but then it's volatile coin at this moment, right? So you can say this is how it is right now. H bar, okay, sort of main coin right now. It's preserving value, I mean, good in a way from the top. Compared to many other alts, it didn't lose much actually. I mean, everybody lost, but not bad that way. HNT is also much better actually. In fact, last week it made a new high. I don't remember. We'll have to see if any coin has done this. If you look at it, this was the previous high before the correction, and this is a new high, though it was for a day or so. Still, it's good, and this week is red, but still it's midway. This is something significant. The way I see is the preservation of value here, that it was here, and now after all this turmoil, after all this downside move, it is still here. So your capital is well preserved with HNT at this moment. So it did something. Now did we know about this? No, of course not. Right, but this is a lesson that we learned, that say, hey, HNT has proven that, everybody went down in month of April, May, but this it didn't go down. So this is a note for a this is a history now, which tells that HNT could provide us that resilience that we expect from any coin. But at least it doesn't always repeat, but at least it made a point that it could. In this case, it did. So this is a learning point. Again, another note say, hey, HNT was able to retain its value pretty well. ICP is weak, actually surprisingly very weak, not doing anything this week. Also red. This is a pretty weak coin, probably weakest among all for now. But again, you never know if it changes the game, and who knows. But at this moment, it's weak for sure. ICX, okay, sort of. Not nothing great about it at this moment. IOTA is making progress this week, especially. It's making progress and doing much better. So looking good to me. Now look at this. See, reason could be anything. Reason could be news or releases, or any other positive. We are fine, but the chart is telling that this is healthier than other coin, making progress. Even today, it's up. So definitely, for last 2 weeks, this has been consistent. So it's good. KCS also making good progress. They're more like Ethereum in this case. KSM is also good. It had also good good news last few days, and it helped to pump some price. But it's a good coin anyway, consistency wise. Link did pretty well last week, but this week was okay, sort of. Still not bad as far as level is concerned. It's at mid level. It, LTC was good last week, but not so good this week. But better than BTC. This is okay. I think I don't have to repeat unless there's something major. Matic was amazing last week. It was also near high. This is also good for preservation of value. If you look at it, it didn't lose anything from its top, almost nothing comparatively speaking. This week is red, I know, but overall it's on top. Make a nice last week. This is also making progress. So MKR is making progress if you look at it positive. Neo is not bad, it's making progress. NKN, okay. OGN had an amazing move, but it dropped a lot as well earlier. This was pretty good, but this is highly volatile coin, right? So this is a clear indication that how much it could swing. So you can measure the swing factor, percentage change, and you can say, you know what, this is not for me. This changed a lot. OMG had a nice week last week. This is okay, sort of. QTIM this week is red. Not bad. SHIB is not so good. Holding the previous low. Nothing special. SKL, not bad. Last week was pretty good. This week is all not so good, but not bad. SOL is in good mood. Whatever reason, it is strong coin. Earlier it proved its strength, and here also it's all like 70% coverage. So this is pretty strong coin. It is proving again and again. Yeah, really good demonstration. Good bounce. SRM not bad. Sushi okay this week. 6 week the very pretty deep one. This is bad one. Maybe I should remove it. There's no value add. That is pretty good. Look at that. Amazing move, and then also like midway. Though it's not, this week is okay, sort of, but still it's like maintaining good height in my point of view. Way above the low. Way above the low. Theta is also similarly a strong this week, approaching the previous high. Very positive. TRX is okay, nothing special about it. I think this can be also removed. Uni last week was amazing. This is flat, but it's still good. Like it's way above the pre low. That's a positive. That's really positive. VET is making good progress, consistent, with some hesitance, but much better. Mid level. VR had a good week, but then it lost in last 2 days. I think it was really doing well. So, but little bit of volatility here in last 2 days for sure. Waves is not doing anything special in last 2 weeks. Pretty weak. Much better this week. Oh, WRX making nice progress. If you look at it, this is a trend line. It is actually got rejected from the downtrend line. This line, which is obvious, but it's a very positive thing. It climbed up quickly. XLM is okay. Nothing great about it. XRP is similar. XTs is similar. Wi-Fi okay. Not bad. Zen last week was amazing. This is okay. And the last one is Zilicum. This is more like Ethereum, very similar to Ethereum. Yeah, not bad. So that completes us. I think yeah, this is on weekly scale, which makes sense at this stage to show you where they stand. Okay, this ends this session as well. Time for questions.